Okay, friends, today we're going to talk about our graphing and writing slope quiz from Friday. Our directions say to find the slope and the y-intercept of each linear equation and then graph the linear equation. So looking here, y equals 4x minus 5. I'm going to rewrite my slope-intercept form equation so we remember what it is. It's y equals mx plus b. Remember that m is slope and b is the y-intercept. I'm going to abbreviate that. Okay, so looking at this equation, I know my slope is 4 and my y-intercept is going to be negative 5. Remember, for slope, I do rise over run, and since this 4 is a whole number, I know my rise is going to be 4 and my run is going to be over 1. So looking at this graph, I always start graphing at the y-intercept. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and plot a point. I always start at that y-intercept. 0, negative 5. I'm going to count up because my rise over run is 4 over 1. And again, that's because when I take 4 and divide it by 1, I get 4. So from this point, I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the right 1. I'm going to do that again. From this point, I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. Oops, that is not a good line. And then I am going to draw my line through those points. All right, looking at number 2, y equals x plus 3. My slope here, I just have 1. There's a little 1 in front of this x, so my slope is 1. My y-intercept is 3, or 0, 3. Okay, so I'm going to start plotting at 1, 2, 3 on my graph. And my slope, my rise over run is going to be 1 over 1. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1. I'm going to do it again, up 1 over 1, and up 1 over 1. And then I'm going to draw my, oh, that's a bad line. I'm going to draw my line through those points. And there is my graph for number 2. Looking at number 3, y equals negative 1/2 x. So my slope here is negative 1/2. My y-intercept is going to be 0. I don't have a y-intercept shown. That's okay. That just means it's 0. So now on this graph, I'm going to start plotting points at the origin at 0, 0. I'm going to go down 1 because it's negative 1. My rise over run is negative 1 over positive 2. So I'm going to go down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2. I can also go up 1 and to the left 2, up 1 and to the left 2. I'm going to draw my line through those points. And there's my graph. Notice that it has negative slope. For number 4, it says each graph below represents a linear equation. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that represents the graphs. Okay, so looking at this graph, the first thing I want to do is find my b, and then I'm going to find my m, my y-intercept and my slope. My b here, I see this blue line goes through the y-axis. This is my y-axis, this is my x-axis at 0, 0, so my b is 0. From this point, I see here, if we zoom in, this is where that line crosses those 2 grid points exactly. So I am counting up from this point 1 block, 2 block, 3 blocks. So my rise is 3 over my run, which is positive 1. So my slope is 3 over 1. My b is 0. So my equation, again, is the form y equals mx plus b. So my slope is y equals 3x. That 3 over 1, when I divide, I get 3. When I have a y-intercept of 0, I just leave that alone. Looking at number 5, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my y-intercept. On this graph, I see it is right here. Again, my b and my m. My b is 1 because that blue line crosses the y-axis at 1. My slope, I am going to go find where that crosses the points exactly. I see that point is here. So I am counting up 1, 2, 3 blocks. So my rise is 3, but my run is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to be -5 because I'm moving to the left. If I move to the left on that graph, that makes it negative. So now I rewrite my equation as y equals -3 over 5. I need to have my x and then my plus 1. And that's my answer. For number 6, is 0.83 repeating a rational or irrational number? Remember that this line means that it is repeating. Anything that is repeating, I know is rational. So this is a rational number because it repeats. And for number 7, is -7 pi divided by 8 a rational or irrational number? Explain your reasoning. I know anything with pi here is an irrational number. So I could say pi is irrational. This is a non-terminating number. Anything that is non-terminating is irrational. Good job, friends.